If you're serious about growing direct bookings, here's one thing to remember. The first booking isn't the hard part. Winning the second one is. That's why for years I've been recommending StayFi. Every time guests connect to your property's Wi-Fi, StayFi helps you capture contact information from everyone staying in the rental, not just the person who booked. That's given thousands of operators the ability to build and market to their own guest database instead of relying entirely on Airbnb or Vrbo. From there, StayFi helps you stay in touch automatically with post-stay emails, seasonal campaigns, and reminders that have driven hundreds of thousands of direct bookings to their customers. So if you're ready to start turning today's guests into tomorrow's direct bookings, head to stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality and use code goodmorninghospitality to get 50% off your first 3 months. Again, that's stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality. There's also a link in the show notes. And now back to the episode.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Man, how have you been, sir?
I've been good. I've got more sleep this week for listeners and viewers. You know, last week I got a puppy. The puppy has been trained pretty good lately, so I don't look as sleepy this week.
Okay.
But I'm still reporting live from my living room because we got to be on this every 2 hours on this crate training. So
yeah,
we're almost there for all those puppy owners, but been a busy week also at work, a lot going on. So I'm excited to share some updates soon on LinkedIn. So if you're not following me there, make sure to follow me there about our project we've been working on, Baya, for now almost 3 years. We're finally making moves. So excited to share all of that.
That's exciting. Very cool. Very, very cool. Man, I wish I had more exciting stuff to tell you, but just been bouncing around.
You've been all over. We got Kay saying hello. Good morning, Kay. Always our biggest fan.
Good morning. Wait, where's she? Oh, there she is. Oh, there she is. Hi, Kay. Hi, Kay. I'm kidding. She's not here.
And I got to say also, too, yesterday was the hottest recorded day in Miami history, hitting at 100, the actual temperature of 100 for only the second time in recorded history here in Miami.
Wait, it's never hit 100 degrees like at all?
You get a lot of feels like 100 with the humidity and all of that fun stuff. But no, that was the first time or the second time ever in recorded Miami history that it hit triple digits this time of year. So, and you could feel it today. And I'm training for a half marathon as well. And that was painful yesterday to do 2.5 miles.
That was painful. Let me tell you about 100 degrees.
Well, it's a different 100 degrees in the deserts. It's dry heat. You don't feel it.
Lies. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, Los Angeles hits 100, not often, but it definitely can hit 100 here and there. And then Las Vegas was like 110 for like 6 weeks straight. That's hot. Phoenix is 120. I don't know how people are handling that. How do you handle 120 degrees? I don't know.
Stay inside all the time. And now as a pet owner, a dog owner, I'm like figuring out, do I need to get this dog some little shoes? What do we got to do here before they go wandering out on the hot asphalt and sidewalk? Okay, I'll take some advice.
Kay has lots of advice. So she'll definitely chime in.
It's good things. Everyone's back to school. It's a little slower now for travel. I know everyone's getting back in the swing of things as school starts. People's summer vacations are wrapping up. But, there's still a lot going on in the world of hospitality.
There is. There's always stuff going on in the world of hospitality.
But Sarah, this episode wouldn't happen, but it's brought to you by StayFi. Okay, StayFi helps short-term rental operators build direct guest relationships through branded Wi-Fi portals, email marketing, and guest data tools that turn one-time bookers into repeat guests. So start growing your direct booking revenue today at stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality. And that's stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality. And we've got Lou. Lou always giving us the weather in Charleston, South Carolina, one of my favorite cities I need to get back to. 117 is the feels like today. Yeah, that's what it says. It's about to hit here in Miami too, so I can feel it. I feel it here coming through the windows. And you're right, Lou. I am the ad king. If you need an ad read,
you're right. I am the ad king.
You let us know if you need an ad read here.
Oh my goodness. That is just crazy.
We've got a lot happening in the world of hotels. You want to kick it off for us?
Yeah, I'm so excited to do that. Why don't we go here with our first topic? How net unit growth ate the hotel industry. So this is a really interesting piece. Also great graphic there, by the way. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting basically how net unit growth became the dominant metric for evaluating basically hotel brand health over the past decade. So that's like, it's interesting because like the whole thing is like travelers didn't wake up and say, hey, I want to have 28 like Hilton brands or, 32 Marriott brands, well, however many brands they are. Please don't quote me on those numbers. But it's Wall Street, it's investors, So this is it's interesting how, and I've talked about this actually with a lot of people, how you've got these bigger brands and they've got so many different sub brands in their portfolio. And this is a whole article as far as why it came to be.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is why we have my favorite segment of whose brand is it anyway at the end of the show. So make sure to stick around for that part at the end. But it really came from this. I'm sure you all have seen hotels out there where you see, a Fairfield and an Element together, or, two hotel brands within a hotel. And the reason they do this is because when you say, you know what, I really want to have a Residence Inn and I want to be the owner of that and I want to franchise that. In the agreement, they say you can't have a Residence Inn in this many mile radius and you won't have that, property competing with you. But Marriott still needs to show growth, and they need that net unit growth is how many rooms they're adding every single year. And if you can't add a Residence Inn within a certain mile radius, what can we add?
Yeah.
But we could add a Moxie. We'll put it right across the street. And then the owner that goes to complain that, hey, you just put a new Marriott hotel, a Moxie, across the street from my Residence Inn. Marriott says, well, that doesn't compete directly with you. It's a different customer segment than what yours has. But as an owner, you're like, well, you just added more supply to the area that I'm renting rooms in. And so that's where the owners start getting upset. And we talked about this a couple of shows ago.
Yeah.
Marriott and Hilton, and I think Hyatt now too are giving, money back and points back if they're good with customer service scores and all these. It's a way to kind of give back, but it really makes it interesting. It's really that workaround, and it's a fine line that I see the brands are doing where every CEO says, no, this is what the guests want. The guests want more brands. They want more unique places to stay, where the owners are saying, hey, my ADR is not growing. I'm having challenges. All the expenses are going up, and you keep adding more rooms to my area where you said I would be the only one having this brand, but now you're adding more Marriotts or more Hiltons, or more Hyatts. And that's why we have so many brands that are out there, because of this net unit growth. So if you really want to go dive deep in it, you could read Rafit's article. He did a great job really explaining it and diving into how it started. And I think one of the really interesting parts was when Hilton, launched its IPO in 2013, they had 10 brands that they were reporting. Now they report on 28 brands, just 13 years later. And we talk about how many brands are growing. And that's just the way to do it. So I'm not sure what you think about that, but as someone building a hotel, like we're building our own brand, if I had invested millions and millions of dollars into a brand, then all of a sudden another hotel opens up down the block competing with me that's owned by the same parent company, it would be frustrating.
It would be very frustrating. I mean, I think the big takeaway with this is that, and again, this ties into the article. I think Sarah Kuppet wrote it. And we talked about before, we even had her on. She's been on other shows talking about it, but it's again, this notion of this net unit growth. Yeah, it seems useful. It's one metric in which to show sort of growth, but what it doesn't reflect, and we were just talking about that, is whether hotel owners are actually making money. So it's this it gives us like false sense of, well, maybe not false, that might be strong, but like it gives a sense of like, oh, the company's booming and growing, but it's really only growing in one way. And it's not reflecting, okay, how are the owners doing? Are they making more money? Are they, and it's, it is an interesting.
It's a fine line to walk, right? Because you have to show growth. You have to show your investors, because they're all publicly traded companies, that we're growing every year. And before it used to be how many hotels you owned. And that wasn't a good number anymore because they really didn't show the volume. So then they went to, how many rooms. Now the net unit growth shows the churn, because you do lose, if you gain 100,000 rooms, but you lost 20, your net unit growth is 80,000. So it's an easier way for them to really report on it and show. But you got to keep growing. You cannot have down quarters. Your investors are not going to say, oh, we'll give Marriott a break this quarter. They didn't grow as much.
Yeah.
That is not how it works when you have investors and people on a publicly traded platform. As soon as you show weakness, stock will drop immediately. And that's not what we want for the investors. And that's what the CEOs really try to protect, while keeping their guests very happy, but also the true customers, those owners of those hotels. Because those brands don't own many of the really not any of them. Some of them have a couple that they still own, but they don't own many of their own branded hotels. So
not many at all.
We could talk about this all the time, but
the more
just another way to really break down how they're reporting. So
absolutely,
let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Do you think they need more and more brands? Is it fair to the owners? Do you think it's good for the guests? I'm curious on what you all think. Let us know here.
Well, Steve, before we move on,
what should we talk about?
What should we talk about? Before we move on, I want to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Built. They're helping restaurants and hotel F&B teams better understand their guests and create more personalized experiences that drive repeat visits. So if you care about loyalty and guest experience, it's worth checking out. Head to joinbuilt.com/GMH. That is joinbuilt.com/GMH. So shout out to our friends over at Built for that.
Millions of people use Built every day to earn rewards on housing and in their neighborhoods. Now it extends to your restaurant. Built Hospitality shapes how guests are recognized and taken care of. Built's restaurant-facing platform is designed specifically for dining operators to drive loyalty with their guests. It combines reservations, guest preferences, VIP management, and payments into one platform, alongside an agentic concierge that thoughtfully designs and executes the experience around your guests' tastes. When a guest walks in, your team already knows what they like without digging through notes. Built Hospitality works across the entire guest journey, from delivering a complimentary course at the right moment to sending a personalized offer that brings them right back. Make every guest feel like a regular and keep them coming back. Built Hospitality is available now for hotels with restaurants and restaurant groups everywhere. Learn more at builtdining.com/GMH. That's built, BILTDINING.com/GMH.
There you go.
I see you've been practicing at home. You've been really reading the ads, working on your pace. Good work.
I know I tend to have a very quick pace. So why don't you lead us into this next topic here? Because I'm curious.
All right. Well, we'll say this. Minor International puts its $1 billion REIT on hold. As they were going through this, it's a Thai hospitality conglomerate behind ANH Hotels, and I want to say this the right way, Anantara and Minor Hotels, which we've always talked about here. They decided to put it on hold because they really couldn't give a firm decision on how business would look, and they want to make sure that they're launching at the right time. Some of the things that they were highlighting, definitely the war going on in the Middle East, international travel is not as strong as it needs to be. And so the group CEO cited Singapore's relatively attractive REIT yields. They really wanted to promote it, but they're putting it on hold right now. So, when you have a lot of things happening internationally, it really does put a strain on some of those plans. So I'm curious to see what people think. I mean, what do you see when you look at that, Sarah?
A lot of numbers. I mean, it just is showing. I don't know.
Here's what I would tell you. Here's what it was showing us is that they want to really put together their Asian and European markets together and put everything really into one conglomerate. It would become one of the biggest ones, but it's just not the right time. It's not the right time for them to go in and really do that. So I think we keep an eye on this, and we can kind of go to the next story, but we're wishing them the best on getting their REIT together, because if they can, they really create one of the biggest hotel conglomerates and really compete with the Accords and Hiltons and Marriotts of the world. So I think that's
Amazing.
good. Good little highlight on that story.
Thank you.
Bring us into the next one here.
Let's go. So Google just bought Spirit Airlines reservation data to train AI. This is wild. So Google acquired reservation and guest data from Spirit Airline, or Spirit's a hospitality. Wait. So it's interesting because, again, I mean, we've talked about data and like the whole data war and who owns what. But I think this is a wild move in this time frame. You know what I mean? And it's, gosh, that data is out there. The most expensive thing, we've talked about this forever, but the most expensive thing out there is data.
Yeah, and what's interesting is like it's not really all about the customers. It was almost also like how they were all talking to each other within the company. So it's all the information within that they were using, so they could train their models on how employees were talking to each other, how leaders were talking to each other. So the assets include software code, data from finance, accounting, operations, and revenue management systems that they're plugging in. And it says the package includes pricing models, booking curves, flight behavior data, refund histories, in-flight purchases, and Wi-Fi sales. So roughly 100 million emails. And it's just crazy to see that they're taking all that data and what they will do with it. I didn't even know that was for sale. Like you could buy companies' data that went bankrupt. It's an interesting thing to be
but
able
it makes
to see
sense
and then plug it in.
because they're sitting on it, you know.
Yeah, and they're trying to get money refunded and get things back to investors. I understand, but it's just funny to see like how important it is and what they're going to use that for. Because these models, man, we talk about AI a lot, and I just see it really ramping up over the last month in my world of how fast it's going and the data that we're plugging in. Right now, I'm going to use this. I'm going to give an example for everyone out there so everyone can
give
see
an example.
what's happening here. I use several different tools to run our management company. We use Slack for communication. We use Notion as kind of like the brain where we keep all of our SOPs and how to do things. And if this, then that kind of model. So if this happens, then that is how you should respond. Then we use Guesty as our PMS. And Breezeway is how we control all the things happening on property. So really like 4 major tools. And we've plugged them all together now into AI. And now we have this AI super agent that can read everything going on, all the guest comments, how the team is reacting to those comments, were things assigned to those people that had concerns or challenges? Are there ways to upsell certain guests? Are there ways to do certain things? So things that would have taken just 5 years ago, days to do, right? And really diving into every single reservation, really going through things. And you would need so many people to do, we can now do within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right, by putting a prompt in. And so I can see why data becomes more and more important as you're building these models, and AI companies are getting more and more competitive with each other. It's just crazy to see these things out there. And the smarter it is, those are going to be the winners. And Gemini, we talked about, if you're using Google for your Gmail and your calendar and you're on YouTube and you're in that environment, they're starting to get more and more powerful, especially when you can start to have agents purchase things, which is now starting to happen. I wanted some Miami Heat tickets for the opening. I wanted to make sure as soon as it went live, I had a bot working on it for several days. And as soon as it came live, it alerted me and gave me the best pricing for the tickets available. It still wasn't able to purchase without me, but that's going to come a time very soon where that's going to happen. So let's see where it goes. I'm curious to you out there. Do you have any unique cases that you're using AI out there, that you're using all your data that you're sitting on? Because we're able to pull the data that we have now and really show and make an improvement and really drive to our bottom line by making those things happen. I'm curious what you see out there.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, that's also like one segment of the market. By the way, 2 comments that were happening in the background. Producer Will said, first of all, data is the new oil. Gotta give him credit for that. Very good point.
Yep.
And he also brought up, he was like, if we were former Spirit employees, how would you feel about them reading chats, emails, anything that may not have been private? And I think that is valid. And
yeah, nothing is private in the company. I want to give a quote my dad gave me when I first started my career. He's a fantastic labor and employment attorney. That never sent an email that you wouldn't want to see on the front page of a newspaper.
That is true.
Always been my mindset as I send something or hit send. Be careful what you're sending, whether it's Slack, where you think it's private, and a direct message. If it's owned by the company, nothing is private.
Yeah. It's definitely, yeah. And even text as well. Like there's a lot. And so that's something
pays for your phone, all these things. It's wild.
Definitely. So anyway, interesting topic here.
I like to read this comment. Use the brain, skip the AI. If evolution is true, we're headed to being androids as a human race. Listen, I don't know. Elon Musk has already got chips going into people's brains and reworking their central nervous system. So I think that's where we're headed there.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and talk about our next topic here.
Awesome. Great.
Awesome. I mean, that's a deep dive topic. I am just going to keep us moving because otherwise, this is the most interesting topic to me. And it was at the end of today's stack. So I was just ready for us to get through our numbers. So
this is your world. I'm excited to hear this one.
Talk about something that is cool. Anyway.
Let's do it.
So this was actually talking about two different articles that came out on Skift. So both there's a creator shift happening as well as Substack, and they're really kind of sharing where sort of hotel marketing trust lives. So one with the Substack renaissance in travel media, which is wild, and then also travel creators are following the money to shorter trips. So the first article, and actually I covered it last week on the video daily briefing, talking about content creators. And it's interesting because content creators are getting real-time feedback from their followers as far as the type of content they want to see. And this year in particular, the followers were like, yeah, like we know these nice, awesome long trips to Europe seem nice, but that's not really a reality for us right now. Like show us something local. And so it's really, creators are shifting their content. I mean, I've even seen it a bit in the brands that have been approaching me, is that creators are focusing on shorter, maybe less expensive, more local stays. And I'm always a big fan of that because you can definitely be a tourist in your own backyard. And so that's definitely the one part of it. I love that you're smiling over here. Yeah. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I love seeing that. And I've been following, I want to make sure I give him the right shout out because he's a big YouTuber. His name is Pete Santinello, I think is his name.
Okay.
And what he does, he's got me wanting to travel all different places across the country. And he goes into like these really unique places around the US, and he was starting around the globe first. And just finds places that no one ever goes to and really wants to highlight the people that live there and show like how there are good people all over the country. But he started by going like to the most dangerous places in the world and showing like there's still good people in these places no matter where you go. But he influenced me to go check out a place in Florida I'd never been to. I'd never been to Chocoloskee, Florida, an Everglades city out in the middle of the Everglades in the middle of nowhere, and drove on down there to go check it out. And now he went to another place. I'm like, man, I want to go check out the springs that are in Florida. I've really only been to one when I was in college. I don't know that whole area. And so I think if you follow the right, I hate saying the word influencer because they're influencing, but gotta be a better word. Yeah. I really feel like they're, people building communities of travel communities and saying, hey, check out these places. They're really cool and unique. And if you find the right people, I think it's good. Not like the person we were talking about last week, who I won't mention his name again, that likes to tear places down sometimes. It's really people highlighting, hey, check out this local cafe, check out this cool boutique hotel, and see these things. So I find myself in that place because it is hard to travel internationally now with so many things going on. And price of flights right now is crazy. So there's so many places in our country, in the US, if you're from here, that are amazing that I haven't seen. So I want to go knock some more of those off. And if you're watching from Europe, I know we have a lot of people in Europe and in Asia. I'm sure you have some cool places that people just don't know about that you love traveling. So I really like seeing this, especially people that really help their local community and get people into stores and restaurants and shops that maybe we never would have gone to in the first place.
Yeah. I totally agree. Always been a big fan of that. The second article that was kind of tied into that was actually talking about Substack, and Colin Nagy, by the way, wrote this. By the way, big fan of his work. I've been following his work for a long time, since because he's written for a lot of different outlets. So he was talking about Substack. So are you on Substack, by the way?
I am, but you know what's funny is I'm subscribing to so many different things. I started signing up for Substacks, and I was getting like flooded with emails.
Yeah, it's a
from
lot.
Substack, so
Totally. Well, so what's
Anyhow,
been
yes.
interesting, I think there's been like a 40% subscriber growth, which has been interesting. And so there's a couple arguments that he's kind of making. On one hand, you've got these independent writers that have these very engaged audiences, and arguably these independent writers and those engaged audiences might actually provide more ROI than maybe getting a feature in like a larger company and a bigger brand, just because it's so specific. Now, obviously the catch-22 with that is that, these independent writers they need to make money. So at some point it's like, okay, well, like what's the fine balance as far as it being like a really, like a fair independent viewpoint, versus maybe a paid or bought mention. I mean, that's always the case, I think, like in anything in media. But yeah, I mean, the point is like, do not be sleeping on Substack. That's for sure.
I know. I need to spend more time on Substack. I got very into it, and I was just like, I don't know. Everyone's just writing with AI here. I got to find the right people, and I was getting flooded with so many things. But
yeah,
I agree with you. And for those writers out there, all you need, like I said, there's an article way back that got shared with me. You need 100 true fans. So you can have 100 true fans that pay and subscribe to you. You can really build a great community. And so I think that's what you're seeing with a lot of these writers is they can get people to subscribe and pay them a certain amount every month and follow them. I think it's great for them. And again, if you're highlighting your community and really doing it well, I think people will follow and trust you. I see so many people with restaurants and, food bloggers and food writers. And then even like some, funny things like that guy, Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, who has his One Bite Pizza, right? He goes out there, he's fair, but every time he gives someone a high rating, that place gets crushed with business. So
yeah,
it shows you how you can really impact in a good way and a bad way.
Well, and it's fascinating. I mean, I don't know how many people know like travel writers, and I'm talking about like consumer travel writers, and that industry. These people, let's just put it like this: they aren't compensated fairly for the type of content that they put out there. And I have a lot of travel writer friends because sometimes I get paired up on fam trips, and sometimes I'll be with journalists versus creators. And it's been like this real tough point over easily the past 10 years where they really used to be taken care of significantly by these bigger brands. And now you've got companies that are like, oh, well, you could just say that you can contribute to it. And that's like how they're trying to pay these writers. And so you have these really talented travel writers that like are needing to find another outlet in which to monetize, because the traditional form of monetization is evaporating, so to speak. So I think we still haven't seen the most of Substack yet. And that's just in the travel related industry. Lots of fascinating stuff in other industries, because we all obviously care about other things other than just travel. But it's fascinating. I'm a big fan of it. So
I have to go back and relook at it. I was just thinking, I was like, how many more newsletters can I read? How many more articles can I read? There's so much content out there. How many more videos can I watch? It's like,
yeah.
Oh, breathe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's the, more than the commoditization of content, but it's because, we can all be our own media brands. Like people don't need necessarily to be like on a big TV station or on a bigger platform to have reach. It's the great equalizer. Social media has become the great equalizer. Like you can put out something and it can reach a lot of people. Now the trick is to make sure that that's accurate, obviously. Yeah, and good. Exactly.
And that is good. And it's not just AI slop. Now I feel like everything almost is, but I miss having a magazine and holding a magazine every once in a while.
Oh my gosh, she's a love. Like I would go to the airport and like buy 2 or 3 magazines. I had like so many subscriptions. And so, yeah.
I do miss it a little bit now. I think it's going to make a comeback. All these things that we had back in the 90s are going to start coming back. Anyhow, 100%. It's an important time of the day here. Okay.
It's your favorite time of day.
It's whose brand is it anyway? The game where we try to guess the sub-brand's parent company. And if you've been playing along for a while now, you know that we're terrible at this and we have not won many times. So I'm curious to see whose brand is it today? Garner.
Oh my gosh.
Garner Hotel. Jennifer Garner's hotel. Let's see.
Oh, I was thinking like Garnier, and I was like, oh, is this a hair company or brand company? Okay.
Garner is going to be I'm going with Hyatt, a Hyatt brand. So listen to the viewers, you've got 5 seconds to put in the comments what brand is the parent brand of Garner.
I don't even know.
Gotta give a guess there. We can't start. We can't show the results so you guess.
I'll say Hilton.
That's what I said. All right, let's go.
Wait, you said Hilton? I thought you said Hyatt.
Did I say Hyatt or Hilton?
I thought you said Hyatt.
All right, well, let's see. Whose brand is it? Anyway.
Roll back the tape.
IHG. We were way up.
Wait, there was an H in there somewhere.
There's an H in there, just in the wrong place. And let's check out Garner. Why don't you read what it says there?
Oh my gosh. Wait, I don't even know what that says in there. That's interesting.
Meet Garner by IHG. At Garner Hotels, you will experience a quality stay at an affordable price. Whether traveling alone or with a group of kids and pets, you'll feel comfortable as soon as you walk through the door. Garner Hotels are designed to deliver the all-important things you value most: a convenient location and a sound night's sleep. All right, Garner, sounds good. I can bring my pet. I have a puppy now. I got to figure out where I can start traveling with all these puppy-friendly places.
By the way, he chimed in here. Well, came through delayed, but hi, Klaus. Klaus chimed in with IHG. By the way, Klaus, I'm going to give you a quick shout out. I think I can say all this. Based in Barcelona, good friend of mine, Lake Lador concierge, former Lake Lador concierge. And yeah, so Klaus, thank you for joining us from Barcelona, buddy. I'm going to text you after
Klaus,
this.
you are the big winner. We have your gift on the way to you. Just make sure to put your address here in the comments for everyone to see.
I'm going to personally deliver it to Barcelona because I owe him a trip. So wow. I'm like 6 years behind on a trip.
Done. Look at that, Klaus. All for playing. Jose got it right as well. All the big winners.
Woo!
Bring it on in here. We love seeing it. Well, Sarah, we cover a lot here in this show. All different things. Stats, AI, travel, content creators, getting into Substack.
Yeah.
And so if you like any of those things, I'm sure your friends will too. So make sure to share this with your friends. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe as well. We love seeing all the new subscribers that join us every single week. And if you have a chance and you're watching this on replay, join us for a live show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. It's a lot of fun here to be able to come on live and get to chat with us, and we get to chat with you. So, Sarah, until next week.
Oh, stay hospitable. Oh.
If you're serious about growing direct bookings, here's one thing to remember. The first booking isn't the hard part. Winning the second one is. That's why for years, I've been recommending StayFi. Every time guests connect to your property's Wi-Fi, StayFi helps you capture contact information from everyone staying in the rental, not just the person who booked. That's given thousands of operators the ability to build and market to their own guest database instead of relying entirely on Airbnb or Vrbo. From there, StayFi helps you stay in touch automatically with post-stay emails, seasonal campaigns, and reminders that have driven hundreds of thousands of direct bookings to their customers. So if you're ready to start turning today's guests into tomorrow's direct bookings, head to stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality and use code goodmorninghospitality to get 50% off your first 3 months. Again, that's stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality. There's also a link in the show notes. And now back to the episode.